Welcome to the Teach Joyfully podcast, where we talk about all things elementary teaching with some mom stuff thrown in. I'm Lisa Burns, a teacher success coach, veteran elementary teacher, and mom of 5. I'll be your host. Thanks for joining me today. I'm sure you hear a lot about having a gratitude practice. Well, there's lots of ways to do that, and some are more effective than others. But I do have to say, I agree. Having a gratitude practice is life-changing. It is. It changes our perspective, it changes our attitude, it changes how we view pretty much everything in our lives. And it can turn what may seem like great challenges into great blessings just by changing how we look at it. So I highly recommend that you start a gratitude practice. And what better time to do that than Christmas, right? So here we go. Here's my framework for gratitude. I know you're shocked that I have a plan for this too. I once had a priest tell me that before his feet hit the floor in the morning, he always thought of 10 things that he was grateful for. What a great practice, right? That's a great way to start your day, that you've already thought of 10 things that you're already grateful for before you even stand up in the morning. Wow, that's amazing. And he said sometimes that was hard, and sometimes it was just that he had a bed to sleep in, food to eat, a roof over his head, some very basic things. And other days, they were bigger and wider and more gracious. And that's okay. Every day is a new adventure, and so you start where you're at. I would expand this gratitude practice just a little bit. Certainly you can start with those 10 things in the morning, but I don't just state 10 things I'm grateful for. I expand that to something a little bit bigger. I found it puts a whole other spin on things and makes it even better. So here's what I do. Start with what you're grateful for, and then tell me why. Yes, why are you grateful for that? What is it about that makes you grateful? And in addition, I would always say include some things in your gratitude practice that are challenges. Be grateful for the challenges in life. Be grateful for the hard things in life, because those things make us grow and change and become better people. Being grateful for the easy things, for the gifts, for all the goodness in our lives, that's great and all. But that doesn't actually help you grow or change. Being grateful for the hard stuff and finding reasons to be grateful for it, that's where the real growth happens. So I challenge you to include at least a few of those kinds of things in your gratitude practice. So what does it sound like? Well, let's start with me. So I might get up in the morning, and yes, I am grateful for my family and all of those wonderful things. That's great. If you're like me and you have teenagers, sometimes being grateful for some of your teenagers might be a little bit tricky, right? When they're challenging you. So I might say something like this. I am grateful for my son who would rather not be doing any school at all. And so keeping him on track with an online school has been a challenge. And so I'm grateful for him because he is helping me develop systems that will actually help all of my families as well. So that's an example of being grateful for something that is challenging. Do you see how I did that? I took something that was challenging. Yes, at one point my son was really frustrating me. However, it forced me to create systems and checklists that would work for not only my son, but also I was able to adapt those, and it is helping my students and their families as well. And so it was a gift that kept on giving. That is something to be grateful for. So finding ways to be grateful for something that seems like something you could never be grateful for actually can help you grow and change and view it in a whole new perspective. If I hadn't been grateful for that and thought of a reason to be grateful for it, I never would have looked at it that way and developed those systems that would actually work for my students and their families as well. So many people are benefiting from that, which means that struggle was not wasted. It really has paid off not only for him, but it's paid off for other families as well. So think of things like that. When you can come up with a couple of things that you are really struggling to be grateful for, that's where the real growth will happen. So I challenge you to do that. I highly recommend starting your day with some gratitude. And yes, 10 things can be a challenge. If you want to start with five, by all means. But don't skip gratitude. It will change your life, I promise, and you will grow and change. And not only that, but once I started being grateful for my son who was challenging me, I realized that I was just loving him in the middle of that challenge instead of being frustrated with him. And that was a real gift. So being able to change your perspective in the middle of a struggle can change everything about your day. So here's the framework. It's super simple. All you have to do is state what you're grateful for and then why you're grateful for it. That's it. So easy. You can do this. I know you can. If you don't already have a gratitude practice, give it a whirl. And that's it, my teacher friends. I am so grateful for you for tuning in every week. Have a wonderful Christmas, and I'll see you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you liked today's episode, I'd love it if you'd go to Apple Podcast or wherever you listen and leave a review. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss an episode. Also, you can continue the conversation with me online in my Facebook group, the Teach Joyfully podcast community, where elementary teachers can connect, get help, and encouragement for all kinds of education and parenting topics. You can find the show notes and links to all the resources mentioned in today's episode on my website at www.hopeineducation.com/podcast. And remember, a happy teacher is a good teacher. Until next time, teach joyfully and take care of you.